Hey guys, welcome to Flight Simulator X video. In this one we'll be flying from Denver International in the 737 to Ontario, California, which is near Los Angeles. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so let's get started up here. And so the battery just comes on, crossfeed is on. I'll turn the fuel pumps on. APU generator should come on. APU is spooled up. And I'll wait for the left engine to spool up here. Looks like we got a good start on the left engine and good start on the right engine as well. Alright, let's go ahead and throw the generators on. Actually, I think this system did it for me already here. Alright, let's check ATIS here. 271 at 81. Or 18, so it looks like we're departing to the west. Visibility greater than 20 miles. Few clouds at 12,000 feet. We'll be cruising at 30,000. 25 and 26. Alright. Denver ground, United 3980. Ready to taxi, depart to the west. Alright, so we're clear to taxi to runway 26, and I'll go ahead and call for pushback. United ready for pushback. This is a really interesting feature that I like about FSX. Haven't flown FSX in a while, just been doing a lot of combat flight sims, so I figured it'd be a nice change of pace to do something a little bit more relaxing. I really like the paint scheme for this. Alright, that should give us enough clearance. And I do love doing this in 1080p. It just makes everything nice and wide so you can see everything a lot nicer. I am using a livery mod. And I can't remember exactly who made it, but it's also a sound mod. It's really, really good. It's for the 737. And you can hear the ambient sounds in the background, which are really nice. Oh, it's kind of cool the way the plane yaws to the left there as we're making this turn. Alright, so let's get out to the runway and we'll take off. Love that sound. Alright, just picking up the pace here. We're doing a high-speed taxi. I think the max you can go on taxiway is about 30 knots or so. Which is kind of flying. It's pretty fast. Alright, let's make a left turn here. And I think this might be our runway here. 26 left. And I was wrong, it's actually further down. Look at that windsock sticking straight out. It's kind of crazy. That wind is directly west, steady at 18. Alright, and here's 26 right. And we'll contact Denver Tower 124.3. Denver Tower United 3980 ready for takeoff.
Denver Tower, Boeing, runway 26, ready for takeoff. Departure to the west. Boeing clear for takeoff, runway 26, departure to the west approved.
Alright, departure 26 right approved for United 3980. Alright, so let's take the active here. Got flap set for takeoff. Alright. Final check here. Alright, engines look good. We'll spool up. It's about 95% N1. I love this, the way these sounds are. I wish I could remember where I got them from. If you just kind of search 737 sound mod for FSX, you should find it. This is just the default. Alright, engine's at 95, stable, and brakes release. Try to stare down the end of the runway here. And I am using the Rex mod. I think it's the older package. They constantly update it, but it's pretty good. Alright, I think that's about N1. Positive rate, keep it up. Alright, so we're going VFR direct. And you can see the beautiful mountain range out there in the distance. I'm breaking the airspeed limit here. Track flaps. I forget how steeply these things can actually climb. It's pretty amazing how steeply they climb. Denver Center with United 3980 with you at passing through 15,000.
This type Boeing 737, 7 miles south of 5 Charlie Oscar 3, request flight following. Boeing Denver Center, squawk 1521.
Squawk 1521, United at 3980.
Squawk 1521, Boeing. Boeing, radar contact 7 miles south of 5 Charlie Oscar 3, 16,600, altimeter 3008.
Altimeter 3008, United 3980. Alright, so I just put the autopilot on with the flight director. I got speed locked out at 230 knots. And the GPS track, as well as 30,000 feet selected. Alright, so we're pretty well established here on cruise at about 0.73 Mach, 279 knots indicated. Our ground speed is flying 649 knots. It's insane. So everything's looking pretty good. Our N1 speed is nice and stable at 75. Plenty of fuel. I probably shouldn't have flown on full tanks. I'm pretty sure you can make the trip. It's only a 2-hour trip with much less gas than that. I'm not a 737 expert by any means, and I don't claim to be an airline pilot. I know there's guys that are much more hardcore about the numbers, but again, this is the default 737. It's not PMDG or anything like that. I'm just flying it for fun, and it's a pretty immersive experience. Everything looks awesome up here. You can see the mountains down there. I'm glad the weather just cleared up. I'm really happy about FSX Steam Edition because everything seems to be running a lot smoother. My frame rate, the only way I can describe it, it's more consistent than it used to be. I used to get a lot of drops down into the teens and then back up again, and it just, it's not optimized for modern hardware, but it's okay. Considering what it does, it renders the entire world. I think you can have a little grace. I have, love-hate relationship with this thing, like many flight sims, like DCS, sometimes BMS, ARMA especially. We ask them to do so many things, but at the end of the day, you can't really get this experience anywhere else. In your, at home on a home PC, you're able to replicate something that a multi-million-dollar sim is doing. Obviously, you don't have the consoles. I am running a touchscreen, and it's okay. I'm touching that right now. You got, FSX, it's kind of finicky, so you got to touch things just right, but all in all, it's not too bad. Alright, so I'm going to speed up time, and I'll see you guys at the destination airport of Ontario. Alright guys, so we're still on cruise, about 25 minutes from our destination, and that is actually, it's not the ground speed, it's actually GPS distance to our destination. So we're 180 nautical miles away. If we were going 600 nautical miles an hour, I'm pretty sure it would be on supersonic, breaking the sound barrier, which wouldn't be too nice. Alright, we'll continue en route. Alright, so we're just starting our descent here. Looks like we're in the SoCal area. There's the west coast, little mountain range right there. And we'll continue inbound here.
49er, Zulu, wind 252 at 14, visibility greater than 20 miles, sky conditions 17,000, scattered, temperature 20, dew point 8, altimeter 3005, ILS, runway 26 right and ILS, runway 26 left in use, landing to departing.
Alright, so 26 left and right in use.
EFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back full short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact US Bravo.
Alright, information Bravo.
Tower, Boeing, altitude 5 miles northeast with Bravo to land. Boeing, Ontario Tower, make straight in, runway 26 right, altimeter 3005.
Straight in, runway 26 right, for United 3980. Alright, so let me take a look out the window here. We are only 23 miles out. That might be the airport right there. There'll be a right turn to runway 26 here. Alright, just disabled the autopilot here. Actually, there's our airport right in front of us. And so we'll have to extend our base here a bit. Should have planned the descent a little bit better, but I think we're doing okay. 26 right. Start slowing down. And make sure that I don't bust the speed limit of 250 knots below 10,000 feet. Alright, so there's the airport to our right. Alright, so nice little area down here in SoCal. I'm really impressed by the scenery. I'm also using UTX. I know there's a lot of really nice scenery packages out there. But all in all, it doesn't look too bad. Go ahead and track the speed brakes. I got full flaps down. Looks like I'm still fast here. Just gonna slow it down a little bit more. And I'm just going visual on the runway. 9380 runway in sight. She just doesn't want to slow down. So we burned about three-quarters of our fuel here.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
And I know I'm still really fast here. This is a short runway too, so.
Don't sink.
All right, there's glide slope.
Don't sink. 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 Don't sink.
All right, level out
Don't
here.
sink.
Boeing, contact ground on 1.9er.
And that was a hard touchdown. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to go around. Haven't flown this aircraft in quite a while. I knew I had to go around before, but I just wanted to see what would happen.
Boeing, can you hear my last transmission?
And I'm on down in here for, I just got cleared for 26 left. That is a pretty short runway. Like I said, guys, I haven't done this in a while. I actually had the auto throttle on, and I'm sure I'm not the first pilot, including in real life, that it's happened to. I think there was actually a couple of accidents related to auto throttle being armed and the aircraft slowing down uncontrollably and causing accidents. So, cockpit resource management. Really nice scenery out here, though. All right, she's slowing down a lot more.
Runway 26 left.
United 3980, cleared land at 26 left. Nice little mountain there. All right, so we're making the downwind to base turn here. I'm gonna try to really slow her up. Alright, so I got full flaps, much closer to a proper approach speed here. At about 140 knots is usually how I gauge it for these aircraft. I know there's an exact science, it's depending on weight. And one thing to keep in mind with jets is just the spool of time of the engines. It's not immediate power like a prop, so you have to really anticipate if you're descending or if you're ascending and exactly the type of correction that you need to do. Alright, so I'm just going to focus on the runway. We're at 140 here. I'll control my descent rate with the throttle and just kind of let the just maintain the same attitude here. Getting a little
Don't
low.
sink. Don't sink.
Add some power.
Don't sink.
And 150, getting slow here. Just keep bringing it down. 140. And that's a short runway. Alright, looks like I have the runway made. 146. Coming down. And I'll flare just a little bit here. Oh, it's hard landing. Now I get some brakes in here. There's 80. 70. There's a reverse thrust coming in.
Boeing, did you copy? 1.9er for Boeing.
Alright, so not the prettiest landing, but that was really, really a lot of fun. And 40 knots coming out of reverse. And I'm just going to taxi over to the parking area. I know there's a general rule not to touch anything until you're on a taxiway. And I guess guys have inadvertently hit the gear up panel by accident trying to reach for the flap indicator. Alright, flap's coming up. Well, that was a pretty fun flight, I gotta say. The flare in this is kind of unique in that usually your first officer's calling out the altitudes or the computer. And I think around 50 feet is where you start to really flare. I'm not sure what the nose up attitude is for the 737. I used to do it just by feel. I imagine it's somewhere around 10 degrees nose up or so. But there's a huge transition from the nose down up to the proper attitude. Anyway, that's my excuse for the hard landing, but that was really a lot of fun. There's beautiful mountains out there. Alright, so I got a nice little parking spot here. And we'll just taxi to it. Oh, overcorrected there. And she's ready for shutdown. Alright, from what I remember, I'm pretty sure these are the fuel cutoff switches. Alright, turn the generators off. AP generators off. I'm not sure if there's an avionics switch or master. I'm sure there's PMDG is probably a million times more complicated than this, but it's pretty simple for us. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed that flight. It was pretty enjoyable for me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Burger out.